Hello, welcome to the weekly highlights program on Azərbaycan Televiziya. I'm İlham. Now first, let's take a brief look at some of the top stories of this week. President İlham Aliyev attended the inauguration of the docent number 4 of the Sustainable and Operative Social Security Agency. This week, President İlham Aliyev held a number of receptions. On March 31st, an informal summit of the Cooperation Council of the Turkic-speaking states took place via video conference. President İlham Aliyev delivered a speech at the summit.
President of Kazakhstan, Kassym-Jomart Tokayev, greeted the head of states participating in the summit. He said that the main goal of the organization was to turn the Turkic world into the most important economic and cultural venue. President of Kazakhstan said the city of Turkestan was one of the cultural capitals of the Turkic world. Afterwards, a film dedicated to the history and culture of the ancient city of Turkestan was demonstrated. First President of Kazakhstan, Honorable Chair of the Turkic Council, Nursultan Nazarbayev, congratulated the President of Azerbaijan with the victory. Nursultan Nazarbayev said he had been elected as the Honorable Chair of the Turkic Council during the 7th Summit of the Turkic Council held in Baku in 2019, stating that one of the reasons for holding the summit were the changes taking place in the world, especially the fight against the pandemic. Nursultan Nazarbayev proposed to develop a document titled The Future of the Turkic World 2040. He added that the city of Turkestan was ready to host high-level events. Taking the floor, President of Azerbaijan Ilham Aliyev thanked Nursultan Nazarbayev for putting forward the initiative to hold the summit, saying that a summit held a year ago on the initiative of Azerbaijan was dedicated to COVID-19, and this was an indicator in itself. The head of state added that summits were held regularly, and of course this had a positive impact on the unity among the member states, underlining that at the end of this year, Azerbaijan will be turning over the chairmanship to Turkey, and information will be provided about the works carried out during Azerbaijan's chairmanship during the official summit in Turkey. The head of state touched upon the Second Karabakh War. Dwelling on the history of the conflict, the president said that Armenia kept under the occupation internationally recognized territories of Azerbaijan for 30 years, and as a result of this occupation, 20% of the lands were invaded by Armenia. More than 1 million of Azerbaijanis were expelled from their native lands and turned into IDPs. A policy of ethnic cleansing was carried out against our people. As a result of the Khojala genocide committed in 1992, more than 600 innocent people were savagely murdered. Among them, there were 106 women and 63 children. Accentuating that the UN Security Council, the supreme body of the world, adopted 4 resolutions, and these resolutions demanded immediate and unconditional withdrawal of the occupying forces, the head of state added that they were not enforced and remained on paper. Making reference to the establishment of the OSCE Minsk Group in 1992 and its futile activity, President Ilham Aliyev said on the contrary steps had been taken to freeze the conflict. Armenia refused to hold negotiations. If they were imitating negotiations during previous years, over the last 2 or 3 years they were saying explicitly that they would not give back even an inch of land to Azerbaijan. In addition, the irresponsible and provocative actions taken by the Armenian leadership made the negotiations meaningless. 2 years ago, Prime Minister of Armenia stated that Karabakh was Azerbaijan and full stop. And of course we had to respond, and the most serious response was on the battlefield. In addition, former Minister of Defense of Armenia, who was dismissed from his post after the war, was threatening Azerbaijan with a new war. As part of other provocative steps was the organization of swearing-in ceremony of the head of the illegal junta regime in Shusha. We behaved patiently and adhered to the norms and principles of international law, and in such a situation, Armenia resorted to yet another provocation last summer. Our positions on the Armenia-Azerbaijan state border were fired at, and the Armenian military formations tried to cross our border. Several of our servicemen were killed. We gave the words a response, and they were forced to retreat, but we did not cross Armenia-Azerbaijan state border. Another provocation took place in August, where a diversion group was sent to Azerbaijan. Head of this group was captured and confessed he had been set to commit acts of terror. Touching on the last provocation taking place in the month of September, the head of state said that as a result of this, our military positions and residential areas were fired at and several peaceful civilians were killed. Taking adequate measures, Azerbaijan launched a counter-offensive and punished the enemy, and the Second Karabakh War, lasting for 44 days, finished with the complete victory of Azerbaijan. Azerbaijan restored its territorial integrity. During the war, more than 300 cities and villages were liberated on the battlefield. Our historical city of Shusha was liberated from the occupation on November 8th, and Armenia was forced to sign the act of capitulation. On November 9th, presidents of Azerbaijan and Russia and Prime Minister of Armenia signed a statement. According to the statement, other regions of Azerbaijan will return to Azerbaijan through political means. Now we can confidently say that Nagorno-Karabakh conflict found its resolution. Noting that from the very first days of the war, Azerbaijan felt the support of the brotherly Turkey, the other state added that President of Turkey expressed his open support on the day the war broke out, on September 27th. This political and moral support was really important for us. This allowed us to launch successful counteroffensive and to ensure that no outside force could interfere in the conflict. I express my deepest gratitude for this to Turkey and its esteemed President Recep Tayyip Erdogan, said the head of state. The Turkic Council made a supportive statement one day after the war on September 28th, and after that made several similar statements during the war. We express our gratitude to Turkic Council. Saying that everything, cities, villages were destroyed in the liberated territories, the president wanted to say that Ağdam was called as the Hiroshima of the Caucasus by the foreign journalists. Armenians destroyed all our cities, our monuments, wiped out our cemeteries, graves, demolished more than 60 mosques and kept cows and pigs in the partially destroyed mosques. We have started restoration works. After the war, a lot of Azerbaijani civilians and military personnel were blown up by landmines. Armenia does not give the mining maps. This is another military crime. Because of that, the demining works will take longer. Without completing these works, we cannot return our IDPs and refugees to those lands. I'm sure that all of us will take part personally in the summit to take place in Turkey. We as the chairing country will provide information on the works done and will speak about future plans. Thank you very much for your attention, said President Ilham Aliyev. President of Turkey Recep Tayyip Erdogan underscored the importance of the activity of the Cooperation Council of the Turkic-speaking states and spoke of the significance of the joint fight against the pandemic. President of Turkey said the organization showed solidarity in the issues of independence, territorial integrity and sovereignty of the member states. President of Uzbekistan Shavkat Mirziyoyev said the Turkic Council transformed into an effective mechanism for regional cooperation. He said the Turkic world was ready for any challenges and spoke of the importance of expanding the current potential. Shavkat Mirziyoyev extended his congratulations to Azerbaijan on its victory. Secretary General of the Turkic Council, Baghdad Emreyev, stated that the Turkic world maintained stable contacts with other countries and added that more than 10 countries were interested in gaining the status of an observer in the organization. Emreyev underlined that the pandemic gave new stimulus to cooperation within the framework of the Turkic Council and voiced several proposals in relation to the summit to take place in Istanbul. Secretary General of the Turkic Council also congratulated Azerbaijan on its bright victory. President of Kyrgyzstan Sadr Japarov, President of Turkmenistan Gurbanguly Berdimuhamedov, Prime Minister of Hungary Viktor Orban also delivered speeches during the summit.
On April 1st, President Ilham Aliyev received Deputy Prime Minister of the Russian Federation, Alexei Averchuk. Welcoming the Deputy Prime Minister of Russia, President Ilham Aliyev said, "It's nice to see you again. You're welcome. Work of tripartite working group is progressing well. Very busy consultations are underway. I am regularly updated on this issue. I'm glad that the decision made is justifying itself, and most importantly, there is already a concrete result. As far as I know, 5 meetings have already been held both in face-to-face format and in the form of video conference. So there is a topic for discussion, and this topic is important today from the point of view of economic preferences, from the point of view of regional cooperation, and from the point of view of strengthening security and peace in our region. Moreover, the post-conflict situation is generally developing positively, and the risks of escalation are minimal. The more elements of cooperation there are, the stronger the security and stability will be, of course. Therefore, we will discuss these issues today and outline further steps and actions. Welcome again." Deputy Prime Minister of Russia Alexei Averchuk said, "Thank you, dear Ilham Aliyev. Thank you very much for the opportunity to meet with you and discuss the work that is being carried out within the framework of the tripartite working group of Deputy Prime Ministers on unblocking economic and transport links in the region. As you have noted, we have met 5 times, both face-to-face and a video conferencing format. Indeed, we have made some progress and the work is being done in close contact. We are always in touch with both the Azerbaijani and the Armenian sides. Indeed, we have established very good contacts there. President İlham Aliyev also received Chief Technology Officer of Turkey's Baykar company, Selçuk Bayraktar, and Chairman of Board and Chief Executive Officer of Aselsan, Haluk Görgün. Selçuk Bayraktar conveyed the greetings of Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan to the head of our state. He congratulated President İlham Aliyev on the victory in the Great Patriotic War and commemorated our martyrs. Expressing gratitude for Recep Tayyip Erdogan's greetings, President İlham Aliyev asked him to convey his greetings to the President of Turkey. The head of state stressed the support of Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan and the Turkish people to Azerbaijan during the Great Patriotic War. President İlham Aliyev praised the Turkish President's congratulations to Azerbaijan on this victory during the summit of the Cooperation Council of Turkic-speaking states held on March 31st. Touching upon the achievements of the Turkish defense industry, President İlham Aliyev stressed that Selçuk Bayraktar was at the forefront of these successes, noting the role of Baykar products in the destruction of enemy equipment during the liberation of our lands. The head of our state noted that Selçuk Bayraktar was awarded with the Karabakh Order and presented the order to Selçuk Bayraktar for his contribution to strengthening fraternal relations between Azerbaijan and Turkey, developing cooperation and contributing to the just cause of provision, the territorial integrity and sovereignty of the Republic of Azerbaijan.
Gerçekten büyük bir onur ve şeref.
Selçuk Bayraktar expressed his deep gratitude to President İlham Aliyev for this high award. President İlham Aliyev received the Regional Director of the World Bank, Sebastian Molineos.
President İlham Aliyev welcomed the guests and said he was very glad to see them. Regional Director of the World Bank, Sebastian Molineos, said he was glad to be back again, saying that this was a good opportunity to exchange views on future cooperation and plan joint steps. The head of state added that so far cooperation had been very successful and overall 47 projects had been implemented, some of which were still in the implementation phase. President İlham Aliyev expresses gratitude for the support extended to the important fields of development, to infrastructure in particular. Thanking the World Bank for the financing of TANAP, the head of state added that this was important in terms of conveying a message to certain financial institutions. I am very glad that the project has been inaugurated. The Southern Gas Corridor project has been in operation for 3 months, and this is only the beginning. Of course, we are very proud with our ranking in doing business, and we are currently 28th out of 191 countries, said President İlham Aliyev, and added that Azerbaijan would continue to implement reforms. Touching on the opportunities on the territories liberated from the occupation, the head of state said there was great need for infrastructure on those territories because the entire infrastructure had been destroyed. President İlham Aliyev also underlined that demining and reconstruction works need to be implemented before the IDPs and refugees could return to those lands, and noted that Azerbaijan counted on cooperation with the World Bank on this issue as well. Regional Director of the World Bank, Sebastian Molineos, thanked the President for allocating the time to meet them, saying that he was very happy to return back after almost a year after the pandemic broke out. Sebastian Molineos introduced new country manager for Azerbaijan, Sarah Michaels. Underlining that she will be here for the next 4 years, Sebastian Molineos emphasized that she was the perfect choice for the position and she would further improve the cooperation between the World Bank and the government of Azerbaijan because she had all the qualities and attributes for this. During the meeting, Regional Director of the World Bank, Sebastian Molineos, underlined the importance of processes unfolding in the economic field in Azerbaijan and cooperation with the country. He highly appreciated the reforms policy pursued by President of Azerbaijan. During the meeting, the sides exchanged views on the continuation of the strategic ties and successful cooperation between the World Bank and Azerbaijan.
On April 1st, a meeting via video conference took place between President İlham Aliyev and the Director General of the World Health Organization, Tedros Adhanom Ghebreyesus, on the initiative of the World Health Organization Director General. The meeting was attended by Chair, World Health Organization Regional Director for Europe Bureau, Hans Kluge, and other senior delegates.
WHO General Director Tedros Adhanom Ghebreyesus, highly appreciating the financial assistance extended by Azerbaijan in the amount of $10 million to WHO, said the political and financial support rendered by our country to the WHO was very valuable. President İlham Aliyev spoke of the works carried out in the fight against pandemic and contributions made in this field by Azerbaijan to international cooperation. He underlined that with the initiative of our country, special session of the UN General Assembly and extraordinary summit of the Turkic Council on the fight against coronavirus for health. He stated that on March 21st, within the framework of the 46th session of the UN Human Rights Council, on the initiative of Azerbaijan in the capacity of the chair of the non-aligned movement, a resolution titled Ensuring Equal, Affordable, Timely and Universal Access to Vaccines Against COVID-19 was adopted. Touching on the importance of the fight against the pandemic, the head of state said he had made public statements in respect to vaccine nationalism, added that some countries ordered more vaccines than needed, while others were facing problems. He noted that the discrimination observed in the fair distribution of vaccines was disappointing. WHO Director General Tedros Adhanom Ghebreyesus said 84,000 of AstraZeneca vaccines will be shipped to Azerbaijan in the near future. President Ilham Aliyev expressed his gratitude for this.
On April 2nd, President Ilham Aliyev received a delegation led by Minister of Trade of the Republic of Turkey, Ruhsar Pekcan. Ruhsar Pekcan extended Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan's greetings to the head of state. President Ilham Aliyev thanked for the greetings of Recep Tayyip Erdogan and asked the minister to extend his greetings to the Turkish president. Saying Turkey is proud of Azerbaijan's achievements, Ruhsar Pekcan added that the Turkish people closely follow the events in Azerbaijan and the activities of President Ilham Aliyev during the Patriotic War and that rejoice in the successes achieved. President Ilham Aliyev emphasized that he always felt the support of Turkish people, adding that the Turkish public stood by Azerbaijan during the Patriotic War as well. The head of state highly appreciated the important statements made by Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan from the very first day of the war. President Ilham Aliyev pointed to the activities of the Turkish media in the Patriotic War and hailed its special role in disseminating news about the war in the world. Saying he had received many letters of support from the Turkish public both during and after the war, the head of state described it as another manifestation of unity between the two countries. This week, President Ilham Aliyev attended the inauguration of the DOS Center No. 4 of the Sustainable and Operative Social Security Agency under the Ministry of Labor and Social Protection of Population in Binagede district. At the DOS Center No. 4, 132 services will be provided in the areas of employment, labor, disability, social protection and security through the one-window system. The DOS Center, which will provide both medical and social expertise and prosthetic and orthopedic services, will be able to receive 800 citizens daily. The center will employ 230 people and 50 volunteers under the Volunteer DOS program. There will also be a call center 142, Inclusive School of Arts, Art School, which is a joint project of the Ministry of Labor and Social Protection of the Population and UN agencies. The project provides for the organization of trainings for an average of 150-200 disabled people per year. The DOS agency was created on the initiative of first Vice President Mehriban Aliyeva in 2018 by a decree signed by the head of state. 3 operating DOS centers have served more than 330,000 people to date. The degree of satisfaction of citizens with services is 97.2%. Currently, design and repair and construction work is underway to create such centers in Gence, Abşeron, Berde, Quba, Sabirabad, Sumqayıt. That was all for the week. Thank you for watching us and see you next Sunday.